Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Let's start our video with a story in which another Karen decided to have a conflict in the store. Of course, she showed herself in all her glory. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. A wild Karen gets pissy when told she needs a receipt for proof of purchase. Some backstory. I've just recently started working at a dollar store where I live. I've worked in customer service before, but that was about 2 years ago, so I've forgotten all the Karens you encounter. Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, was my first Karen encounter while working at this dollar store. Happened yesterday. Cast. Me, Entitled Mom, our Karen. NG, nice girl, also Karen's daughter and a total sweetheart. The store was just becoming quiet, and for something to do, I was reorganizing shelves while my coworker was on her break still. I was happily minding my own business, and I see Entitled Mom and Nice Girl walk in with items, huge floor mats, and I can already tell they want to return or exchange, so I put on my best fake smile and I greet them as I would. Hello, how are you today? I didn't get a friendly response, which I wasn't expecting. Now, EM didn't look like a Karen at all, so I just thought she was in a bad mood. NG speaks for EM. Hi, my mom wants to return these mats. She misplaced the receipt, but she doesn't want these mats. Can she return them? Now this is an issue. We have a no returns policy, yet my boss instructs us to do them anyway. I don't know. Secondly, for every return or exchange, we need the receipt for proof of purchase, as people try to pull a fast one on us sometimes. I already know this is going to cause some minor controversy. I'm sorry, ma'am, but you must have your receipt before a return can be made. It's proof that you bought the items here. EM wasn't too happy about this, but she didn't cause a huge scene. But I don't need them. I just want my money back, please, EM says. I shake my head calmly, all the while telling my anxiety to F off in the back of my head. I have very severe anxiety, so even the most minor confrontation can cause me to panic. Again, I'm sorry, ma'am, but you must have a receipt. I can tell she's getting agitated, and not gonna lie, so was I. She huffed, NG spoke up again. Well, can't she exchange them for something else? I thought I was going insane, because this was literally the third time I told them, I'm sorry. Receipts for returns and exchanges must be present and provided. I was only following rules and company policy. EM grew red in the face with anger. Is your boss here? I want to talk to him. My brain was hurting from this woman's stupidity at this point, but I remained calm and said, no, he just left. However, even if he was present, he'd tell you the same thing. She and NG looked at each other before stomping over to my coworker, who often gets mistaken for the manager. I went back to organizing and watched the exchange secretly. It ended with EM stomping out the door, NG following behind her. A few minutes later, I'm on cash till with my coworker when NG comes back in. She apologizes profusely for EM's behavior, buys some items for herself, and leaves. But not before telling us that EM was sulking in the car saying, they won't be getting my business then. Why do Karens think the boss/manager will always take their side and do what they want? The customer's always right. Oh, crap. And our second story. Selling my car online. Little did I know. So recently, me and my SO started looking for a newer car. We want a more mature car. My old one, 10 years, was a very nice car, but sporty. I found a nice car to buy, so I asked the dealership to look at my old car for a trade-in. The seller was really nice and truthful. He'd advised me to sell it privately since I'd easily get 800 euros for it. His partner dealership would lowball it for 6,000 euros to make a good profit. I took his advice, and the same evening, I published an ad in a popular website for that purpose. I did some research and saw the cheapest one went for 8,000 euros. Those were with much more miles on them and less cool stuff inside. I was more than happy with 7,500 euros and wanted to get rid of it fast so I don't lose the car I wanted. So my clever idea was to publish it for that much little did I know how that crap works. As soon as my ad got online in the evening, my phone started ringing. Both calls and messages, a lot of crazy people asking to help me get rid of it for 5,000 euros or 6,000 euros. I'm not used to haggling. So when a dude called within an hour and asked about the car history and offered 7,000 euros for it, I said fine if he doesn't intend to haggle on the spot. He said he was coming from a city 30 minutes away and hoped I was truthful. I was truthful to a fault. Every little thing I could think of was disclosed to him. I took good care of the car, but it was 10 years old with a scratch here and there and a spot of rust. He got there with a friend, and after an aggressive test drive, we got back in the parking lot. He started going around the car and trying to find issues with this 10-year-old car that I'd not disclosed. Everything he pointed out, which wasn't much at all, was already disclosed. Everything but a few markings on the hood from pebbles. That's really nothing to point at. Guy: you didn't tell me about those markings on the hood. Me: no, because it's a 10-year-old car, and for that age, there aren't a lot. It's like 5 or 6 small marks. Guy: yeah, but you didn't tell me about them. Me: no, not specifically, but I did tell you it has normal wear and tear on a 10-year-old car. Guy: it's not normal. You have to lower the price. Me: no, thank you. We agreed over the price and no haggle. You already get a great price, and while you were driving it, I got 2 other texts about the car. Which wasn't a lie, I showed him. Guy: all right, I'll take it for 5,000 euros. Me: no, thank you. Guy: what's your bank account? I'll transfer the money right now. Me: yeah, no, thank you. This is when he got mad and started getting rude and loud to both me and my father, an older man in his 70s. Even a bit aggressive with pointing at us and getting closer. Guy: you effing lied to me. You wasted my time. You want to screw me and now you don't want to lower the price of the car? How am I supposed to make enough money on this car? Give me your effing account number so we can finish our business. Me: stop being so rude. It won't help you. You don't really scare me, and you don't have to buy the car if you don't like it. He turned to my father and was even ruder. Guy: I drove here for 30 effing minutes. I don't want those to be wasted, so give me the effing car for 5,500 euros and we'll go our separate ways. This is when I got mad. I'm not an aggressive guy, but I can stand my ground, and my father's a nice man. I won't allow anyone talking to him that way. Me: now look, you're crossing a line, so I'm not selling you the car for all the money in the world. Now get into your car with your friend and effing drive away from here. You understand? This car will not be yours. Guy: I don't want your effing car. Now, pay for my gas and time for coming all the way here for nothing. After a few more back and forth with this jerk, he understood I'd not budge. He huffed and puffed on his way to his car, screaming into his friend's laughing face that I didn't even give him a counteroffer. The morning after, I sold the car to a really nice guy and his brother. And our last story. I'm the bank president. This was back in the 70s when I was in the military. I was stationed outside Little Rock, Arkansas, and found I was in need of extra cash, so I got a job at a security company working overnight. Our cast of characters are me, obviously, Mr. Smith, first suspect, Mr. Harrigan, second suspect, PO1, first police officer, PO2, second police officer. There were 3 of us who worked security at a prominent downtown bank. 1 for day shift, 1 for swing shift, and 1 overnight. I was the swing shift guard. On the job, we had time clocks we had to punch in on in different areas showing we were patrolling. There was 1 revolver for the 3 of us, and I found out it wasn't in working order. Not only dirty and a plugged-up barrel, but the cylinder wouldn't rotate, but it didn't matter, for the ammo inside had turned green, making it unusable. So it was my 3rd night. I'd just taken over from the older daylight guard. I started making my rounds with my privately owned weapon and cleaning the duty weapon between patrols. When I finished cleaning and putting in new ammo, I carried it along with mine. The daylight guard didn't pass any information on and didn't write anything in the log, so I figured nothing out of the ordinary. One of the time clocks was in the main lobby behind the cashier's cage. When I entered the lobby, I noticed the vault was open, a light on, and some muffled speaking from inside. So I called for the police and proceeded to the vault with both guns in hand. Me: hands up, and they better be empty. They put their hands up and slowly turned to me. They were in casual attire, had cash and books out, plus a good-sized hand tote next to them. Mr. Smith: "What the hell do you think you're doing? Do you know who I am?" Me: "It appears you're stealing money and you're a thief." Mr. Smith: "You idiot! I'm Mr. Smith, the bank president. We're doing an audit." Me: "Got identification to prove that?" Now, this was before lanyards, and many weren't issued IDs proving their identities or where they work. Mr. Smith: "Not on me. My coat's inside my office. I can go get it." Me: "Nope, you gentlemen walk out to the lobby, sit down, and keep your hands up until the police show up." You could see the anger in Mr. Smith's face, and Mr. Harrigan was shaking so hard I could have sworn the building was shaking. A minute later, 2 cops ran in from where the security office was. They had a key for that door. And PO1 asked what was going on. I told him my story, while PO2 went to handcuff the suspects. Police Officer 2: "Dad?" Police Officer 1: "You recognize one?" Police Officer 2: "Yeah, my father." "Hey, OP, you detained the bank president. What in the hell did you think you were doing?" Me: Stopping a bank robbery?" I meekly said. Mr. Harrigan then pulled out a government ID with a badge indicating he was an auditor. He was still shaking and was so nervous he couldn't speak. The officers helped them up while I was apologizing, and Mr. Smith said they had to do a night audit for apparently there was some cash missing, and they were checking the books along with cash on hand to find out who'd taken the cash or just messed up in the books. Feeling stupid, I went back to my patrolling, then wrote the incident in the daily log. The next day, I found a memo for me to come to the company office, 8th floor of the bank building, and speak with the manager of the company. I thought, this is it. I'm getting chewed out and canned. To my surprise, Mr. Smith had commended me for my diligence, my observations, and the way I'd handled things. The manager gave me a pat on the back for my work. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.